Hi, Meg here from ITH Stamping, and today we're going to be making a birthday card. Now this birthday card is for my mom, and she's sitting in the other room, and she doesn't know I'm making it for her right now. So, okay, we're going to go through this pretty quick. I'm going to start with the printed petals stamp, and it's the very large flower from it. And I'm going to ink it up in Regal Rose ink and stamp it onto Whisper White cardstock. It's a bold image stamp, so I like to hold those in place for a second or two. Then I'm going to take my scallop circle punch and go ahead and punch this out. Let's see here. There we go. Next, I'm going to take the small flower from the Every Little Bit stamp set. I love this set. It's such a versatile little one. And I'm going to stamp it on the inside of my card. I'm going to go ahead and do this part first. So the base for our card is going to be 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. So I'm going to take the little flower, and I'm just going to do it just kind of randomly across the bottom of my white cardstock. Then you want to go to your Stampin' Scrub right now and do it and get that stamp nice and clean, because we're about to use it into our Whisper White ink. Next, we're going to stamp the Happy Birthday sentiment, and this is from the On Your Birthday stamp set. I'm going to stamp it in that same rose red onto a little strip of Whisper White cardstock, and I really didn't like how that first one turned out. And that's the best thing about stamping, is you don't like it, you do it again, versus with a sticker, well, you're just kind of out of luck. Alright, now we can set this one aside, and we are actually going to turn to what's going to be the top layers of our card. So I'm going to start with a piece of rose red. This is going to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and I'm going to be using the Pinking Hearts border punch. I'm going to use it along the right hand side of this cardstock. I'm going to start with it in the center. Get this good and lined up, and punch, then slide it down. And I also like to double check this one on the bottom just to make sure I'm punching exactly where I think I'm punching. That looks good. And then slide it to the other side. I love border punches. I really do not know what I would do without them. Okay. And punch. So then I've got all, as I refer to it, punch poop here. So let me get this cleaned up real quick. Now we're going to stamp on this piece. And I have a little extra piece of rose red that we're going to stamp on as well. So I'm going to go back to our same flower, and I'm using my craft white ink and get it good and juicy there, and I'm just going to randomly stamp it kind of up this left side. I'm going to go across, so I need one there, grab a couple up top. Alright, so I reserve the right to go back and add more later if I need to, but I'm also going to stamp this one over here. Now I'm going to let this dry for a bit. It's craft ink, so you want to either heat set it or let it dry. Now I'm going to take the Modern Label punch, and I'm going to slide it in and punch out the good Happy Birthday that I stamped. And then also on this little strip, I'm going to take the Decorative Label punch and punch out about that much. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to use that as a little bit of a border. And then I've got my 3/4 inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch out that cute little white flower. I'm going to take the flower that we stamped and punched earlier, and I'm going to take this cute little red guy that we stamped and punched. I'm going to use a dimensional behind him and pop him up on top of here. And then I'm going to take some more dimensionals and put them behind this big flower. So peel those off, and this is going to layer onto a piece of pink pirouette that's going to be 2 inches by 2 inches. Get that nice and in the center there. Then I'm going to grab my snail. I have lost this like 8 times today. There it is. Alright, so then I'm just going to take this, put a little bit of snail onto that little label that we punched out, and it's just going to border on the left hand side just to kind of give it a pretty little accent, because it's going to go on our card like this. Okay, so, but we're going to do that part at the end. This should be dry, and it is. Good deal. I'm going to take some Whisper White 1/4 inch grosgrain ribbon and measure it out to be a little bit longer than the piece of rose red. And I'm going to take some mini glue dots and put one on each end and one in the middle. So the reason that I'm using ribbon is I really don't want to see the hearts from the pinking heart border punch. So all I'm going to do is grab this and I'm going to cover up so that all I see is the cute little jagged border. So just go through, make sure you've got it on there just right. Because sometimes you need hearts and sometimes you don't. So this is a great way to get more than one use from this punch. And then we're going to bring back in the base of our card. So we stamp the inside, and along the left hand side we're going to use a piece of Regal Rose that's going to be 4 inches by 1 inch. And it is going to fit right along this right hand side, leaving 1/8 of an inch across the right hand side, the bottom, and the top. Next we're going to layer that fabulous rose red piece. Oops. Get it good and lined up. Once again, leaving 1/8 of an inch on the left hand side now, the top and the bottom. I'm going to add some snail to the background of our flower there. And then I'm going to add our words. So I'm going to use dimensionals behind our words. I think 2 ought to do it. I'm going to tuck this right down here at the bottom. So we need to add a little bow or a tie. And so I'm going to just make a tie. I'm going to do it up here, I believe. Just tie a cute little knot. There we go. And of course now we need to do something to the center of our flower. So I'm going to use from the neutral buttons the little 5-petal flower, and it's going to go right in the center. But before I stick that on there, when we did the punching on this pinking hearts, we have a strip of real red that's left over. So this is a perfect use for it before the rest of it goes in your trash. You just want to start and you want to cut a very narrow slit of this cardstock. Now, I'm right-handed, so normally I would cut on the right-hand side, but if you'll cut on the left-hand side of your cardstock, you'll be able to see exactly how much you're cutting off. So just the narrowest little strip. Ta-da! Then we're going to take this and we're going to go through the bottom of the button and pull it up. Then very carefully I'm just going to take this and tie it in a knot. And then I'm going to use one of my favorite accessories ever. This is from the Distressing Toolkit, and it's the round file. I hardly ever use it for actually filing anything, but I use it for this all the time. So I'm just going to take it and start wrapping my cardstock around it. And then do the same, do the same thing over here. Just gently pull that out. And then you can go back in and tighten them up, whatever you need to do. So I'm going to grab a mini glue dot and just pick that up and drop it down into the center of my button. And then I've got a very cute happy birthday card that I know my mom will love. So, and then you've got the coordinating inside. So I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make the card that I made for my mother this year for her birthday. To learn more about rubber stamping for card making and scrapbooking, be sure to visit www.itstamping.com. And remember, I don't just sell rubber stamps, I teach you how to use them. Have a great day.